Okay, Unit 3.1 test review. So number 1, 2, and 3 is just to find your least common denominator. You do not actually have to solve these. So remember, before we try to find the least common denominator, we have to factor. So we know this is a perfect square minus a perfect square. X times x is x squared. 3 times 3 is 9, so this becomes x minus 3, x plus 3. So the x plus 3 is already matched, so they both already have x plus 3. But this has x minus 3, so we have to give this one x minus 3. So x minus 3, x plus 3 is my LCD. Now, you don't have to keep going because we're not solving. So same concept, we have to factor before we try to find our LCD. Perfect square minus a perfect square because x times x, 6 times 6, so this is x minus 6, x plus 6. Here we have to factor. A is 1, so 1x, b is 7, a times c, 1 times 6 is 6. So the only thing that multiplies to give me 6 and adds to give me 7 is 1 and 6. So 1 over 1, so this becomes x plus 1 and x plus 6. So you'll notice they both already have x plus 6. Now this has x plus 1 and this one doesn't, so this needs an x plus 1. Now they both have x plus 1. This one has an x minus 6, this one doesn't, so it needs an x minus 6. So there is my LCD. One more, same concept, factor, factor, perfect square minus perfect square. So this becomes x minus 4x plus 4. Factor, so a is 1, so 1x, b is negative 6. A times c is 8. What multiplies give me 8 and adds to give me negative 6 is negative 2, negative 4. So this becomes x minus 2, x minus 4. Well, they both already have x minus 4. This one has an x plus 4, this one doesn't, but it needs it. So they both have an x plus 4 now. This one has an x minus 2, and this one doesn't, but it needs it. So there is my LCD. Okay, so knowing that, we're going to move on to just simplifying. This is kind of a mixed practice. So we're just going to start. So here we just have a single fraction, so we're going to simplify. Well, I know that I always need to factor before I try to simplify. GCFs is what I'm always going to start with. 4 does go into 12, so I'm going to rewrite this as 4 and then 3x minus 1. 5 goes into 15, so I'm going to rewrite this as 5 divided out 3x minus 1. Well, the 3x minus 1's match, and we're left with 4 over 5. Okay, here's a complex fraction like we've been doing recently. That has a denominator of y, this also needs a denominator of y. If I gave it to the bottom, I also have to give it to the top. And I end up with, they have a common denominator of y, but I have 5 minus 2y. Here, if this has a denominator of y, this also needs a denominator of y. If I gave it to the bottom, I also have to give it to the top. And I have 2y plus 5 over y. And now we're going to rewrite it. Top fraction stays the same. Change it to multiplication and flip my denominator. Now, factor any piece I can factor. I know that this is not in order, so I need to fix it. When I fix it, I get negative 2y plus 5, but I'm not allowed to have a negative in front, so when I take that out, I get positive 2y minus 5. So this is what that becomes. Well, my y's cancel, but nothing else cancels. Those do not match. I have a minus and a positive, doesn't match. So I keep my negative 2y minus 5 over 2y plus 5. Okay, example 6. Again, look, it's already set up for us. It's multiplication, so I don't have to change anything, but I need to factor all my pieces. So here is a perfect square minus perfect square because this is x times x, 2 times 2. So I'm going to rewrite it as x minus 2, x plus 2. Again, perfect square minus perfect square. This is 2x times 2x. This is 1 times 1. So I get 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Keep my multiplication. Nothing here factors, so this is 2x minus 1, and this is x plus 2. So now I cancel. Well, 2x plus, or minus 1, sorry, cancel. X plus 2's cancel, and nothing else cancels. So I'm left with x minus 2 over 2x plus 1. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, number 7 is a lot like number 4. Again, GCF, well, 8 goes into 8. So when I take that out, I'm left with x minus 1. 4 goes into 4, so when I take that out, I'm left with x minus 1. The x minus 1's cancel, and I'm left with 8 over 4, which simplifies to 2. So there's my answer. Here is a lot like number 5. If that has a denominator of x, this does too. And I have to give it to the bottom and the top. So I get 7x minus 3 over x. This has a denominator of x. This needs one also, but since I gave it to it, I have to give it to the top and bottom. And that gives me 3 plus 7x over x. And I'm going to rewrite it. So the top stays the same, 7x minus 3 over x times, and we're going to flip the bottom, x over, I'm going to rewrite this in order. It's going to be 7x plus 3. Since they're both positive, nothing changed. My x's cancel, and these do not cancel. One's minus, one's plus. Here, before I know my LCD, I have to factor this. So, a is 1, b is 3, a times c, 1 times 2 is 2. The only thing that multiplies to give me 2 is 1 and 2. 1 plus 2 is 3, so that works. They're all positive, so this is 1. This is x plus 1, x plus 2. Well, the x plus 1's already match, but this has an x plus 2 that this doesn't have, so it needs the x plus 2 on top and bottom. Now this has a 2x minus 3 that this doesn't have, so it needs that on top and bottom. Now, I know my LCD is 2x minus 3, x plus 1, x plus 2, and I'm going to bring my numerator down and simplify it. So I have x times 2x minus 3, I just flip-flopped it, plus 2x times x plus 2. So I have x times 2x, which is 2x squared, x times negative 3, which is negative 3x, 2x times x, which is positive 2x squared, 2x times 2, which is positive 4x. Well, these are my like terms, and I get 4x squared plus 1x, so just x. And I have a GCF of x, so I have to take it out, because remember, we have to factor it now. So we have 4x plus 1 and just x. So we have x, parentheses, 4x plus 1, and nothing simplifies, and that's okay. So flip to the back. Okay, so now we are on number 10. Well, the first one is good, but the second one's not in order. And if I put it in order, I have negative x plus 1, but I'm not allowed to have a negative in front, so I have to take it out, and it becomes opposite, opposite. Well, now the x minus 1's match, but this one has a negative and that one doesn't. So my LCD is negative, parentheses, x minus 1. So I have to give this a negative on top and bottom. I have to bring down my numerator, and I have negative 4 plus 1, which is just negative 3. Well, look, my two negatives cancel, and I have 3 over x minus 1. Okay, here I have a GCF on top. I know 4 doesn't go into 6, but 2 goes into both of those. And when I take that out, I'm left with 2x minus 3. This is a perfect square minus a perfect square. 2x, 2x, 3, 3. So I get 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3. Well, the 2x minus 3's cancel, and I'm left with 2 over 2x plus 3. Those don't cancel because that plus sign makes the bottom stuck like glue. And there's your answer. Now, number 12 already has an LCD. They're already common, so we don't have to change anything. We're just going to bring the top down and simplify. So I have x plus 1 minus, now anytime I have minus, I'm going to put parentheses. So x plus 1, I have to distribute, so minus 2x plus 1. So I have negative x or negative 1x. And then I have plus 2. We'll have to take out that negative. That leaves me with x minus 2, opposite. Nothing simplifies, so there's my answer. If I'm going too fast, remember you can pause or slow down the video. Okay, look at number 13. Again, we need to factor, but it is division, so we're going to have to flip-flop this guy. So I know that this first one, this is a perfect square minus a perfect square. This is 3x, 3x, 5, and 5. This has an LCD, a GCF, sorry. And we can always check in our calculator, math right 9, 18, 30 if you struggle with GCFs. So it's 6. And when I take 6 out, divide by 6, I'm left with 3x minus 5. Change it to multiplication, and we're going to factor this. So I'm going to start with the bottom because it's now my top. It has a GCF of 6 because 6 goes into 6. When I take it out, I'm left with x plus 1. And 3x plus 5 does not factor at all. So this is what I have. Well, I know my 6's cancel, I know my 3x minus 5's cancel, and I know my 3x plus 5's cancel. And I have nothing left but the x plus 1, which is on top. So it doesn't have to be a fraction anymore. However, if you wrote it as a fraction, it's got to be with, oops, sorry, not an x on the bottom, 1 on the bottom. I'm going to rewrite that, x plus 1 over 1. Okay, so this is how I want to see it, but if you write it as a fraction, 1 is on the bottom because there was nothing left. Here, this is kind of old school, okay? 8 over 12, you can simplify in your calculator. So that becomes 2/3. And where there are more x's, well, more x's are on top, and we subtract 12 minus 2 is 10. Okay, look at 15. This is 14x, this is 7x. Y'all, they already have an x in common, so don't mess with the x at all. 7 can turn into 14 by multiplying by 2, so 14x is my LCD. Bring down my top, so 2 times 12 minus 3. You can literally type that in your calculator. And I get 21. Then I can simplify my calculator. So 21 over 14. That gives me 3 over 2. Don't forget your x. Okay, look at number 16. X minus 1 squared is just twice, so this becomes this. Now if you notice, the bottom is already factored for you, which is really nice. Change it to multiplication, however we have to factor this side. So the snowflake for the bottom, a is 2x, b is negative 3, a times c is negative 4, so it's going to be negative 4 positive 1. So 2x plus 1, because this was the bottom, but now it's the top. And that simplifies to 1/2, so it becomes x minus 2. Now this is a perfect square minus a perfect square, so x, 2, 2, so it becomes x minus 2x plus 2. And now we simplify, so we have x minus 1, 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1, x minus 2, x minus 2, and there's my answer. So I have 2 parentheses x minus 1 over x plus 2, nothing else simplifies, so there is my answer. And again, this is super nice. Some of it's factored for us, 2 of them are not. It's multiplication, so I'm not flipping anything. So I don't even really have to rewrite the whole thing. A is 1, b is 5, a 1 times 6 is 6. So the 1 times 6 does not give me 5, but 2 and 3 do. So this becomes x plus 2, x plus 3, a is 1, b is 4, a times c is 3. When they're 1 off, y'all, it's always going to be 1 in itself usually. This 6 is a different concept, but 1 and 3. So 1 times 3 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, so this becomes x plus 1, x plus 3. And now we can cancel. So the x plus 3's cancel, x plus 2's cancel, x minus 1's cancel, and we're left with x plus 1 over x plus 4. Two more. Again, square just means twice. Bottom's already factored for me. Change it to multiplication, and we're going to flip it. So the x minus 1 on top is now x minus 1 on bottom. And this is a perfect square. X times x, 4 times 4. And so we have x plus 4's cancel, x minus 1 cancels, x minus 1 cancels, so we just have x minus 4. Or remember, you could put it over 1, but you don't have to. Last one, this is subtraction, so this has to have a common denominator. It already does. However, we still have to factor it. So x, or 1x, because a is 1, b is 5, c is 6. I think we just factored this right here, but it's fine. So it's 2 and 3. So remember, always write your LCD to the side. And then we're going to simplify the top. So we didn't have to change anything because they already matched. However, when I have a minus, I have to use parentheses on that one after minus. So this becomes 2x plus 8 minus x minus 2. It becomes x plus 6, which doesn't simplify, so there is my answer. Okay, test is coming, so you make sure you all study. Good luck.